Hey everybody, welcome back to Jamia's Promo, and today we'll be taking a look at everything that is brand new on Samsung One UI 4.0, which is the beta program version 1 that also brought you Android 12. So yesterday's video, I showed you where you were able to find this update, how you can download it through Samsung members, how you can sign up for it. We basically also took a look at every single thing in this entire list of everything that is brand new, just for basically documentation so everybody knew what was a part of this if you weren't able to sign up or your phone was not available just yet. And so basically we're going to go through everything that is on this list except for just a couple things that wasn't really big notoriety type of things, but I did find additional features that was not listed in here that I'm going to show you in today's video. And also too, I found out that there was a few features that was not added to this update just because there was some bugs and some issues. So that's going to be coming with version 2 or version 3. So if you're not completely pleased with everything that they've done with this new overhaul of One UI 4.0, there is going to be more added to this. So with all of that said, we'll be taking a look at everything small, everything big, something that's cool, something that's functional, pretty much everything in between. And so one of the first things that I did notice is going to be inside of the home screen settings. So when you press and hold on the home, when you go inside of the settings, one of the newer options here is called Add Media Page to Home Screen. So the adding of the media page is just letting us know if you want to select basically Samsung Free or Google Discover. You can also turn this page off, and this is that negative page that is over here on the left hand side. So originally when you get to it, basically you swipe over, this is going to be that page. If you do that pinch to zoom, it takes you over here. You can also turn it off this way, you can turn it on, you can select Samsung Free, Google Discover, but inside of the settings down over here, something that was added in is going to be within here that you can just simply do it. You can turn it on, turn it off, so you don't have to do pinch to zoom. So if you don't want it to be there anymore, you can just simply turn it off. Now this next feature that was updated was one that was not listed in that full entire page of all that new stuff, and it's basically the user interface of the new biometrics for face recognition. So all we're going to do is go back inside of the biometrics and security. You can see I have my fingerprint and face recognition set up, but we're going to go inside of face recognition. Now once inside of here, I'm not going to delete my face data that I already have, so I'm just going to go through and add in an alternate appearance so you can see what it looks like when you first set up your face recognition. So this alternative appearance just means that maybe you wear glasses and you wanted to add that in as another appearance, or maybe you have long hair, or maybe there's days you wear makeup or you don't wear makeup and your appearance does slightly change. This is a way that you can add another appearance. This way you can unlock faster. So we're going to go inside of here and I'm going to show you what this looks like now. So as you can take a look at it, it's going to spin, it's going to rotate, it's going to do a little thingy in the middle. And so that is just something that was kind of small but really cool that the face recognition did update their UI. Now, because we're already talking about face recognition, I want to show you this as well too, because right before this update, if let's say, for example, I went into this Helium application, usually because you have any type of a biometric setup, it was usually always fingerprint, and then you would basically tap on the screen, but it actually gives you an option if you want to unlock it with your face, and it'll start looking for your face to, for it to be detected, or you can go with your fingerprint. So it's actually kind of cool to see an option to where you'd be able to use any of those biometrics that you had set up, not just one, even though you had multiples already on your phone. Now this next feature is one that is a part of Android 12, and that is letting you know about some permissions that is being used, such as location, mic, and camera. So on the top right hand side, what you're going to notice really quick is going to be a camera icon, and it's letting you know that this application is using the permission of camera to actually, take photos and things like that. So if you open up a different application and you don't know that there's other permissions like mic or camera, and you notice a green little dot on the top of really any ho-dunk everyday application you didn't think needed permissions, now you know with a quick little notification on the very top. Now the next one you'd be able to take a look at, because it showed you the permission for your camera, now we're going to just take a little quick look at what would happen if you use a microphone. So any application that you would use a microphone, things like that. Let's say that I tap right here, then you're going to notice the microphone on the very top letting you know that there's a permission for this application to use the microphone, with this application. So when it comes down to whatever you're doing, if you're playing with really any of these other applications, and if there's one that looks like it shouldn't really have a permission for camera or mic, you might want to take a look at it. You can go inside your settings, and you can also make sure that you have this thing, turned off as deny, or ask for your permission every time you open the application. Now heading back inside of the camera over here, I'm going to show you this updated camera shutter button. So it's actually kind of cool. One of the things is if you swipe up, it's going to give you that additional shutter button. So you'd be able to place the shutter button anywhere on your screen. That this way it's just, within reach of your thumb. Now because it's directly on my table, it went to night mode, and that's why it took forever to take the shot. But it's actually pretty cool. When you're done, you just basically put it right on back. So again, you swipe up to bring it on out. If you swipe over, it's not going to really do anything left or right. If you do swipe down and you hold it, then it's going to take a bunch of photos. That's going to be your shutter. Now, the other thing that is really cool that you can do with the shutter button is now if you press and hold on photo, you can see that it's going to start recording video. But if you swipe it up to the top, it's going to lock it into place. And so if you started within photo and you decided you wanted to do a video, simply press and hold, swipe it up, it's locked, and then now you can switch in between your different lenses. So you have your 1x, 3x, 10x, here's your ultra wide. You have pause and stop and things like that. You can also change your flash on the top. You can switch it to your front camera, and you can also take a photo, and then you can either pause or stop. All of this coming from regular photo. So something really quick happened, you don't have time to go and switching, over to a different mode. Boom, you'd be able to do it that way with a simple press and hold, swipe up to lock. So next up is going to be a little quick feature. It's something very small but very beneficial. It's one that is not really a part of Samsung One UI 4.0, but it's a part of Android 12, and that is the extra dim option. So whichever brightness you're at that point, it's just going to get it a little dim. It'll bring it down about 10%. So you can see my brightness is already pretty high. If we were to bring it down, then we bring in extra dim. So by a quick little button, instead of you having to swipe down, you can tap this, and usually that'll get the job done. Or if you press and hold, you can see the extra settings inside of here. So this is just that simple on and off that we just got done doing. You also have the intensity of, how much of a change of the extra dim you want it to do. So I guess I'm just going to put it right over here. And then you also have your extra dim shortcut. So for some reason, if on your screen, it's kind of like an accessibility type thing. If you always want to have that little extra dim shortcut button right over here, something that's easier to do, something that's not really going to be on the top inside of this, quick settings, you pull down twice, you turn it on, you'd be able to do it with this, quick little button, which again, some people might find to be a little helpful. I don't really need the extra button, but just a simple little tap on the top to bring it down a little bit is going to help. Even if your brightness is all the way down because you're laying in bed, it's almost midnight, you're trying to pass out, you'd be able to dim it even more than the lowest brightness of your phone. And then you also have turn off after restart. So if you wanted to maybe have your extra dim turn on, and then if your phone restarted, then this is going to turn right back off. Now, because we're talking about this brightness, we might as well talk about the main brightness level on the very top. So you can see here that this one is a little different. They said it's supposed to be easier to use. Now, honestly, instead of it being a little dot with a line, it's going to be just this full-fledged, bar, I guess you could say. It's not really a line with a dot. It's just a really big, thick bar on the very top. So if that's easier, it's easier. You have three little dots right here. You can go inside that can go into more settings for your brightness, which is basically the adaptive brightness. Now let's go inside of the brand new widgets screen. So when you go inside of your home screen settings over here, you tap on widgets. Now, instead of it just being icons everywhere, like before, like everything was just kind of spread apart and located in different areas, even though it was alphabetical, it was kind of just a mess. And so now you can take a look at here's all of your clocks. You'd be able to close it. It's just really nice to go through a little list rather than all these large icon or tiles. So when they put it down into a list, it makes it a little bit easier, and then you'd be able to take a look at pretty much everything. And some of these widgets could be different for whichever applications you have downloaded on your phone. And so some of these could also be updated as well. Now, somebody mentioned that there should be a little widget for maybe the battery life of your watch. If you don't have your watch currently on your wrist, it's sitting somewhere else. I think that is something that should be added hopefully in the future as well. I think it's a pretty good idea, even though you should normally be having your smartwatch on anyways. You can just simply take a look at it, but you never know. So keep a lookout for that. If you see it, write a comment in this video if it was added later on. Now we're going to head inside of the calendar because the calendar has something that is brand new and different. It's the way that it kind of looks. Actually, on the bottom right over here, you can just simply add something in. So usually this little area was not there, and it was just a way that you would have to tap on a day to add something in. So basically you could tap over here and then you can write in whatever the event is, or let's say it just kept it on today as it already was. So this is where you just go down here, you want to add something in. So let's just say the word Bob. Maybe you're going to hang out with Bob, or you just wrote in your entire event. Then it's going to add it into your calendar really quick. So it actually makes it pretty simple and easy. If not, you just got your little plus button, and then you'd be able to write everything in this way, which is the original way. And then on the very top up over here, if you hit on this little search button, you can be able to search for really anything, and then you'd be able to find it pretty quick. So now we're going to head back inside of the settings. We're going to go inside of device care. So device care is something that I look at all the time for battery, things like that. You can see that this has now been updated and changed. On the very top, you're going to see an emoji just kind of letting you know if it's good, if it's mediocre, if it's bad. You'd be able to optimize it now. So they're going to go with just a quick glance. It's going to let you know if it's good or bad instead of looking at 99 or 92, 98. Some people don't really care about that, or maybe it's just a little bit quicker to look at emoji to see if it's better or not. Then when you scroll on down, you can actually see some additional care that was added in. So software update, right through here, you can go right inside of your software update stuff rather than going through all the other screens from before. And then diagnostic, you do like a touchscreen diagnostic. You can do sensors, charging, and more. And it's going to basically take you into Samsung members. So within this one screen, underneath device care, it actually makes sense. You'd be able to take care of your phone by making sure it's lastly updated. Be able to take care of your phone, device care, with the diagnostics of touchscreen, sensors, charging, and more. Again, taking you back inside of Samsung members, which this is the application that you want to open up to actually initially find and sign up for the Samsung One UI 4.0 beta program. So now we're going to kind of go somewhere very close to that. We're going to go back inside of this battery and device care. On the very top, we're going to go back inside of battery. Now, this was something that was a part of Samsung One UI 3.1.1 with the Flip and the Fold 3. That was where you had the more battery settings of protect battery. People were wondering when this was going to come. And so for regular flat slabbed phones, you won't get 3.1.1. You're going to just get Android 4. 3.1.1 is made for the flipping and folding devices. So right here is that protect battery. It's to extend the lifespan of your battery. It limits the maximum charge to 85%. So you'd be able to simply turn this on. You're not going to go beyond that. So I guess maybe some of the reasons why this could help is that it helps you from not overcharging your phone, going past 100% or just keeping it on the charger for longer periods. And also maybe because with going all the way up to 100, I don't know, it's just maybe hurts the phone. I don't really get it. If you guys know, you can write a comment below the video. But for me, I always go all the way up to 100%. I unplug it. I charge it at night before I go to bed. So this way it's not charging through the night. And I found that to be a pretty good success. And I've been doing that ever since the Galaxy S3. So that was the first 10 or 11 things so far with this. We still have another 9 more left to go. If you guys are still part of this video, if you guys are still appreciating and enjoying this video, you're learning something, make sure to hit on that subscribe button as well as the bell for notifications to get notified for all future videos. So now we're going to head over inside of Digital Wellbeing. Digital Wellbeing is something that I use quite often and even more lately just because on the Z Fold 3, on the Z Flip 3, I found myself using the phone more and more and more just because it's just a fun phone to use, and it's also larger in terms of the Z Fold. So I have a bunch of different timers set for applications, but inside of this screen here, when you scroll down, it actually has 2 new options. One of them that's over here called volume monitor. It kind of lets you know if you're listening to something like, if you're listening to Bluetooth headset or a Bluetooth speaker itself, it's going to let you know the listening time, the average decibel level, things like that, what it was compared to yesterday. Just making sure that you're not listening to a very high decibel, for extended amount of times. So it's kind of letting you know like, hey, here is your volume monitor. This is letting you know that you've been listening to this amount of music at this decibel level, and it may not be the best for you. The other one is driving monitor. This is pretty cool. So it can monitor your screen time while connected to your car's Bluetooth. So this way you'll be able to see which applications you're using the most, and you should start to exclude apps such as those when you're using navigation. So let's say that you go inside of here. This one right over here is talking about an app that if it can be excluded because, it's a GPS type of an application. You can also add more to this. So screen time while driving won't be counted for these apps. If you have a navigation app, you keep it on while driving, you can add it here. So this is where I'd add in basically Google Maps or anything else like that. You can hit on start. And it's kind of a nice thing to do. Again, it's to keep you safe from not using your phone, and it's going to monitor all the applications you've used and for how long, or it's basically going to exclude it. So for this next one, I just went inside of Twitter, and so I just wrote, let's head over there. Obviously, I used the wrong there, and so they threw in Grammarly with this, and it's actually really cool. So if you're inside of Twitter, if you're inside of text messages, no matter what the case may be, if you're going through sentences, if you missed a comma, a period, if there's a word that should be spelled different, if there's a word that should be added, the cool thing is that it'll be underlined in green. You can tap right over here and it's going to give you the suggestions of what's going on. So not just the regular suggestions you had from before, but these additional suggestions with Grammarly. So suggest text corrections, and it's going to show you what you should do. The word there may be used incorrectly. Review the following notes. And if it is correct, you just hit there and it's going to change it there for you. Now that we're still inside the Samsung keyboard, if you go inside of emojis, you can actually create your own combined emojis. It's actually pretty cool. So over here is your normal emoji entire list. Here's your GIFs and stickers, things like that. But these two heads over here, you can create and make your own. There's some over here that was already created for you. If you go on this little plus button, this is actually pretty cool. So you can actually take this one off and then you can throw in something else. So let's say that we wanted to do these two right here. So you got the heart, you got that thing, or maybe you wanted to use one that was like pre-made, then you'd be able to send this off to somebody else if you want to. You can actually get more stickers as well. So let's say that you take that one off and then you want to do maybe that face. You can do something like that. So this newest one that we just got done making, if we just go on to next, and then we wanted to hit send, we're just going to throw it up on Twitter. Now, all it's going to do is it's going to create it into a GIF. It's going to be this white background in the back. You know, it's not really going to be pretty. Hopefully, they'll be able to kind of update this in the future to where maybe somehow, if they were able to, that they would be able to go inside of here and actually kind of make it look like this, where it just kind of flips, or maybe keep it black in the background and not have white in the background. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You'll be able to now combine emojis. Now we're going to head inside of the Samsung clock application. So this one was already updated in Samsung One UI 3.1.1. Again, most people didn't get that unless if you got a flipping and folding device. But inside of here, if you set up your timer, let's say you go for 2 minutes, and I use timers all day, every single day. And when you go back home, usually it's always stuck on the top as a small icon letting you know how much time is left if you swipe down. But over here, you can see that it changes shape. You can also move it around. So if this is something that you wanted to keep on your screen, you can make it large. So you can edit it, you know, do whatever. You can also hit pause, or if you just leave it, it's going to go into this pill shape and it's going to show you visually along with the numbers, along with this little dial going down. Now, if you do get rid of it off of your screen, and again, you can move it anywhere. If you hit the X, then basically it's going to go up to the very top, exactly where it was from before. You can see your timer, things like that. So through here, we're just going to cancel it. But the little mini timer is now a part of Samsung One UI 4.0. So for this next one, I wanted to play some music to show you what you're able to do with a music player on your lock screen. So right now I'm connected to this Bluetooth speaker right here. So this is what would happen if you're connected to a Bluetooth speaker in your house, the Galaxy Buds 2 in your ears, maybe something to your car, you know, through your lock screen. You'd be able to simply go from there and change the media output. So if you're listening to it on your Bluetooth, but then you got into a phone call and you don't want it to be on the Bluetooth and you want it to be on your phone, you'd be able to simply change it over into your phone really quick, just right off of there. And again, so it allows you to manage more when it comes down to Bluetooth listening. You can change it to the speaker we're listening to. You can change it to the Galaxy Buds if you want to switch it really quick, or if you want to have it on your phone. So it's actually pretty cool to have it on the lock screen. This next feature we want to talk about is the always on display. So with always on display, usually the option was either always on, always off. Maybe it was through a schedule, or maybe if you wanted to double tap it, things like that. So let's just say that you wanted to go inside of your always on display. There is now an additional option. So now it'll show for new notifications. So usually my always on display was off just to save battery. If I did want to do anything, it would be maybe tap to show for 10 seconds, because if I'm close enough to the phone, tap it real quick, take a look, gander, move on. I don't want it to be as a schedule because things always change. I don't want it to always be on just because it takes battery. So now what's going to happen is if you get a notification, it's going to turn on the always on display for you, and not just for the notification. It'll actually just turn it on up until you recognize it. Now let's move over inside of the camera itself. And if you're somebody who likes to use pro modes, you can now see that the user interface of Pro has been updated. So, you know, again, it's going to be black just because it's sitting on the table here. So you got your ultra wide, you got your wide, and then some of your settings is going to be right up over here. Same thing with the regular Pro for photo as well. It's kind of a way that it's set up a little bit different. You have some of the settings up on the top, and then you're going to have these little settings right here. And then if you do make any changes and then you find out that like some of the stuff that maybe you've kind of moved around is really not the best photo, you'll be able to to go through and then just reset it really quick. So heading over inside of the gallery. So with the gallery, there's another way that you're able to kind of scroll through here. So you can see on the very top, there's quite a bit of space that is being taken up for the search button, also the notifications on the very top, the time, things like that. Also, on the very bottom, you have this banner. So you basically have a header and a footer on this page, and you really probably don't need it. Inside of your settings, you'd be able to have full screen scrolling. So one of the cool things here is that as you scroll, you're going to notice everything goes away. So now you have a full page of anything and everything you want to take a look at, unless if you are scrolling up. So then this way you can take a look at the time, or maybe you have to go inside of photos manually this way. But as you scroll through here, as you're scrolling down, everything is going to go away. So you have a larger viewing area, and you can do the same thing if you wanted to do this inside of these Samsung Internet. So if you use Samsung Internet and you're scrolling, all of that's going to move away, and then you're going to have a full screen experience. And then lastly, let's go back inside of the gallery, and let's say that we wanted to, edit a photo. So the photo editing area has also been updated. So over here, you can see that you have your 4 options on the very bottom. Some things are just kind of, set up a little bit differently. Over here on the bottom right-hand side, this is where you have your Galaxy Labs. So you can turn on or off the object eraser. You can do some styles. Here's the object eraser there. Here's your face effects, color mix. You can also save as copies. So when you change everything, you can save another one as the copy. Resize, labs, and then about photo editor. So I wanted to show you here that there is a new look if you wanted to edit some photos, and that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show off in today's video. There could be more that I can play with. I didn't go through that entire list. There's about 2 or 3 of them that not too many people are interested in. A few of the other things like accessibility and AR emojis. So I went through some of the other stuff that was more important, as well as some of the things that wasn't even listed in that full long list that you guys seen from before. But that's a lot of stuff. Let me know what you guys are most excited for, with which of these, you kind of like, and that was added in, that was something brand new. Again, there's going to be more and more added to this. This is only version 1 of the first beta update here that was rolled out just today. So more and more will be coming out. But I hope you guys appreciated this video. If you guys did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Subscribe right over here on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.